there we have it. That is the assembly of our entry-level aquaponics unit with all its components in place. The water will go from the pump in the sump, transfer the water by split flow. Half of the water will go to the fish tank, half of the water will go to the media bed. The water coming to the media bed is governed and choked by the use of this valve. Once the water overflows, the bell siphon operates, the water will transfer into the deep water bed where we position our raft. You will need to cut away a slot in the raft where the outlet from the media bed delivers its water into the deep water bed. We'll also need to cut away a slot for the self-leveler in the corner so that it's not interfering with the raft which sits on top. Vincent, don't you want to fetch us one of those rafts? The water will transfer from the media bed. It will flood into the deep water. The deep water will transfer its water into the sump. The sump will transfer the water, half of the water to the fish tank, half of the water back to the media bed. And so the filtration and the running of the system will continue. Now there are some other very important parts within the fish tank itself, and that is that the fish tank itself has the inlet to the fish tank has a T-piece stroke connector on it, which has been pre-drilled. We have holes drilled in the vertical section which goes down, and we have holes drilled in the horizontal section which goes across. This would need to fit in on the inside of the inlet in such a way that it forces the water inside the tank in a circular motion. And that can push on, doesn't have to be glued, but if it's loose, it might pop off on its own. So just ensure that however you do fit it on there, that it fits on tightly. We then have the outlet of the tank, our fish tank. When you fitted the whole thing together, it's important, once you put your water into the fish tank, to leave the flush valve, the middle one, the flush valve, closed, and open the bottom valve only. The bottom valve is the valve that's going to be transferring water through the radial flow clarifier to the sump. So in other words, the water will be drawn out of the bottom of the tank. It'll come up through the radial flow and then back into the sump. Once every three days or so, we will need to flush and rinse the radial flow clarifier by opening that valve and shutting it. So Manana's got a deep water raft tank for us, and that will basically fit into the deep water bed there, enabling us to produce our leafy greens in there, our fruiting crops in the media bed, and then the sump will basically be the transfer point and the position of the pump. So the outlet of the fish tank on the inside has a section of pipe which goes straight and then has a downward facing elbow which will be positioned in the middle of the tank. The overflow, this is an overflow line. So in other words, if for whatever reason our fish tank outlet at the bottom blocks, the fish dies, or a frog falls in, or some leaves fall in, or some algae, or a fish dies, something, and it blocks the bottom outlet, the water level in the tank will rise and it will start flowing out of the overflow. Now we don't want the overflow water to flow out of the tank from the top. So on the bottom, on the overflow line, we have a downwards facing section which collects water down at the bottom of the tank and transfers the water, and it basically just slips on. This is an outlet, doesn't have to be glued. So in other words, if we had a blockage in our main outlet, the water would rise, it would start flowing out of the overflow, but it would be drawing its water from the bottom, not from the top, so that we are continually oxygenating our water for the fish and we don't lose our fish in the fish tank. It's not necessary to have the fish tank open. In fact, we recommend that you put either a net or a lid onto the fish tank to make sure that you don't have leaves or muck falling in or fish jumping out. The other thing to mention is that when we are putting our fish in, we want to stock our fish gradually without a shock in the temperature to the fish. So stocking the fish once they're established, they will then give us the nutrient, the bioavailable nutrient, to run the rest of the system. Obviously, if you've received the kit from us and you have a problem, you're always free to call us. This video is really to assist you in putting the system together in such a way that it's easy to do. It hasn't taken us more than 30 minutes or 40 minutes to put this together, so it shouldn't take you longer than that, knowing what you know now. And if you have any hassles, please feel free to call us. Enjoy the rest of your day.